Guys, in this video I'd like to talk about some points, how to become better musicians, responsible musicians, interacting with other responsible musicians, and how not to be inadvertently annoying to your peers. I just want to say that all of this stuff comes with experience. If you've never played in a band before, you don't really know what it's like to be on stage with other people. But when you see a professional musician who has recording experience in the studio, rehearsal experience, live experience, you notice how they interact with you, how some professional behavioral things are immediately apparent. So I just want to go over a few things. Noodling, right? When you first start out playing your guitar, your bass, your drums, or whatever, it's very exciting. You can't wait to show that new solo that you've worked on and are able to nail perfectly to everyone. So it's very tempting to just any free second you have to just start playing that solo. It's like, look what I can do, look what I learned. It's nice, but we need to be respectful and mindful of other people's time. You show up to the rehearsal to work on your set, on some songs or whatever, so you should leave everything that is unrelated to that practice for the time you come back home, and you can go and shred your favorite solo. So noodling is incredibly unprofessional, especially if you have a large ensemble, several people, and then it's contagious too. One person starts noodling, then somebody else starts noodling. Before you know it, it's just a cacophonous mess. So resist the urge to noodle. Also, again, what differentiates professional musicians from amateurs is they show up, they know their stuff. You play a song, some kind of derailment happens, and the band stops, and the band goes back and tackles what happened. But they stop right away. They don't carry on for another 20 seconds while everybody's already stopped playing. So be very attentive to what's going on. If the band leader cues a stop, you should also stop immediately. Don't go into your solo, don't noodle. So that's that. Another thing, and this only comes with experience, with live playing experience and just rehearsal experience. When you're alone in your bedroom and you're practicing guitar, you can hear yourself very well. You can fine-tune the sound, it's nice and clear, but as soon as you have other people involved, it's not as easy to hear yourself. Now that is a perfectly normal and expected thing, especially if you're playing in some bar and the sound system is not that great and the stage space is very small. Just be prepared that you're not going to hear yourself as well as you would like. And that's when you need to rely on muscle memory. You just have to believe that even though you don't hear yourself as clearly, everybody else hears you along with everybody else. Now, of course, there are some advanced in-ear monitors and stage monitors, and realistically, to be able to hear yourself just perfectly takes a lot of fine-tuning and working with a sound engineer, and realistically, that is not going to work. Another thing, and that's very important, is you need to be a team player. You need to think of the whole band sound as opposed to just your own sound. And that's when EQing and setting the volume comes in play. Now, if you're practicing in your bedroom, you're playing metal guitar, you can dial in this perfect sound with a lot of bottom, and it sounds just incredible and heavy. But you need to be mindful of playing with the bass guitars, because if you have such a saturated sound, the bass guitar has nothing to work with. So what I tend to do, and Jimmy Page also, for example, did that, is to kind of layer your instruments consciously, so that the guitar is more on the trebly side. It does not really have that thunderous low end, because if you have that incredible low end in your sound, then the bass pretty much becomes useless, and then the bass player is going to turn up because they can't hear themselves, and then you're going to turn up because you can't hear yourself, and as a result, it's just loudness war is not going to solve anything. So think of the band as one big instrument: bass, drums, guitar, vocals, backing vocals, horns. Everything needs to be as loud as it needs to be, and it should not be so that only you sound perfect, because it's always about compromises. Being in a band is not just compromises, it's about you being that little piece of the puzzle that makes the band sound balanced and good. And finally, when it comes to rehearsals, be on time, be early, so that you can start playing exactly on the dot. Make a list of things you need to bring. Whenever I play gigs and I have to bring several things, I take my phone and I make a list of trivial things like cables, batteries, picks, my pedal board, some obvious things, because you may just forget to bring something, and that would not be very cool, right? And also, when you're packing up, using the same list helps you, because you are rushing off the stage, and then just go through your list, make sure you got everything. I cannot tell you how many times I left my power cables from my pedal board at the rehearsal studio, or guitar cables. So using a list really helps. In rehearsals, be respectful towards the next band that is coming after you. So pack up several minutes before your time slot ends, so that the next band can just seamlessly come in and you're out the door. That's it. Hope you find it useful. Thank you.